During his news conference, John detailed the steps of the investigation. Now, I'm gonna say that the following details pertaining to the day of Saniyya's disappearance are alleged because Saniyya's family has a different account on what happened. John alleges that on Saturday, April 24th at 12 p.m., Saniyya Dennis got into an argument with her boyfriend who lives in the New York City area, calling and texting one another, and at the end of the conversation, he broke up with her. At 12:36 p.m., Saniyya called a male friend also near the New York City area about the breakup. She called her now ex-boyfriend 59 times thereafter. Texts continued, but no actual conversation was had. In the text to her ex-boyfriend, Saniyya said, "I'm not feeling good. I think I'm going to blank myself." There was no response. She allegedly texted again saying, "I'm so done with my own life. I've had enough." From 2:15 to 2:27 p.m., there were 7 more calls made to her ex-boyfriend. At 2:39 p.m., Saniyya talked to the male friend about taking her own life. According to the DA, she recently had some mental health issues. When they were on the phone, she stated that she was feeling better and that she had reconsidered taking her own life. At that point, the male friend believed her. At 10:07 p.m., the phone call with her male friend came to an end. At 11:02 p.m., Saniyya was seen on camera in the elevator at her residence hall. At 11:03 p.m., Saniyya was seen exiting the dorm. At 11:04 p.m., Saniyya walked to a garbage can and threw away personal items that would lead someone to believe she was not returning to the dorm. At 11:12 p.m., Saniyya swiped her bus card onto NFTA bus 32 going toward Black Rock. She sat alone and exited alone. At 11:40 p.m., Saniyya swiped her bus card onto NFTA bus 40 going toward Niagara Falls. She sat alone. On Sunday, April 25th at 12:07 a.m., Saniyya exited bus 40 at First and Rainbow in Niagara Falls. At 12:10 a.m., Saniyya texted her mother to tell her that she loved her and would call her the next day. At 12:15 a.m., Saniyya texted her male friend thanking him for his time, but saying, "I'm sorry I lied. I will not be joining you this summer, at least physically. Thank you for making my day special." Minutes later, Niagara Falls State Park cameras showed her walking towards Goat Island. At 12:17 a.m., Saniyya was picked up on camera in the park. At 12:18 a.m., she received a text from her male friend. At 12:19 a.m., Saniyya was last seen by Niagara Falls State Park cameras on the bridge. She spoke on the phone with her male friend for about 45 minutes. The DA says she told him she took a bus to an island and was going to jump off a bridge, but told him she had reconsidered. She ended the phone call. At 1 a.m., Saniyya took a Snapchat photo near the Tesla monument. At 1:05 a.m., Saniyya sent a text to her male friend. He asked for her location, but she didn't give him one. She told him that she was on the bus, but according to the DA, that wasn't true because her phone was pinged at the Tesla monument. At 1:20 a.m., Saniyya sent a text to her male friend in the New York City area. She told him she was on the bus going home. Her friend told her he was relieved, but the DA said her phone was pinged at the park. At 1:21 a.m., Saniyya texted her male friend saying she talked to her mom. Her and her mom were crying and having a conversation, but the DA says phone records show that is not true. At 1:22 a.m., Saniyya sent another text to her male friend saying she would let him know when she gets off the bus, which was the last outgoing message from her phone coming from Goat Island. At 1:23 a.m., Saniyya's phone left the cell network. It was either powered off or destroyed and has not powered back on since. At 1:45 a.m. to 2:27 a.m., friends tried to call Saniyya with no response. The FBI interviewed Saniyya's ex-boyfriend and NYPD interviewed her male friend. Both were ruled out as suspects. On April 30th, K-9 teams deployed to Goat Island after picking up Saniyya's scent from clothes in her dorm room. The dogs tracked the scent to the area of Luna Island, where the DA says the dogs went over a railing onto a grassy area near the water and wanted to jump in. The DA said if Saniyya jumped, her body could be caught in the jagged rocks and may never be found. The DA presumes Saniyya took her own life, but can't definitively say that because there isn't a body. All he can do is present the public with what he has, and despite all of his evidence, the search for Saniyya will continue. After John's conference, Saniyya's family immediately released a statement challenging his findings. They said enough wasn't done to find her. They were not granted access to evidence law enforcement officials and others have on the case, and they believe foul play is involved. They are also raising questions about the validity of the text messages found on her phone.
My name is Darryl Thomas, and I'm Saniyya's uncle. We've been up here a little short of, how many hours? Well, we got in here in the morning, around 2 in the morning. And the officer just mentioned how all of these city agencies are involved in this case. And the little bit that my sister have learned, her daughter has learned, her father has learned, the information that they got, with just that information alone, a lot more progress should have been made with these city agencies that was mentioned. We spoke with the officer early today. There was a picture mentioned about in the elevator with Saniyya. There was another person in that elevator with Saniyya. I asked, well, have that person been interviewed? And the answer that I had gotten from that is that we going to check in on that now. 6 days. The only human being that was in the elevator at that time that we know on video was that person in the elevator with her, and you telling me 6 days later that you going to check this information? You're so adamant about how she got the ping from her phone in Niagara Falls, but there was a conversation on her phone in the middle of all that, from that afternoon until 1 o'clock in the morning, and that person hasn't been questioned, and that person has stated some very important, made some very important and scary statements, and that person is not considered a suspect in this case. Between 2 o'clock in the afternoon, midnight, when my sister got a text message from her phone, and the text read in a way where Saniyya doesn't speak like that. Her language isn't like that. And we let them know that. And then after 12, what time was it? 12:15 or something. And then after that text message was sent to my sister's phone, the conversation between that individual that was on the phone with her continued until 1 o'clock. And these officers are saying that all of these city agencies, including the mayor, is concerned about this, and this is the 6th day in this. There's no videotape showing that she left this property to be in Niagara Falls, other than the fact that they know that there's a ping that came from her phone. But what about the ping that was on the individual's phone that was communicating with her? What about his ping or her ping or wherever that came from? So you telling us all these questions and you giving us all this information in front of the camera, but there's a lot that we're dissatisfied with behind these cameras. You know, and we're not trying to bring anybody shame, or all we want is to have her get some information, tell us something, and that's not happening. You can't have that much money spent in that kind of city agency attention and have no results at all. Absolutely no results. And there's and just 2 photo apps you're going with, from a person traveling from this university all the way to Niagara Falls, and all you can show and account for It's two photos, one of her in the elevator and another one of her traveling off the campus ground, but no evidence of her entering the park or being seen near the park or the bus traveling from here to the park. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it's just not adding up. It's not adding up. And don't let these cameras fool you. Dogs hasn't been bought out to get a scent from her room to wherever it's suspected that she would have left these campus grounds. We ask that if anybody out there professionally have dogs that can smell, we're willing to pay them to use these animals or something like that. This is a shame on the state of Buffalo for a young lady to be missing this long, and you don't have nothing but a video still picture of her in the elevator, and saying that she traveled some far distance to another park, a state park at that. And there's no point of entry of a photo she coming into the park. So don't let these cameras fool y'all. This is nonsense.
Sherry Jefferson, who is the executive director of the African American Juvenile Justice Project and an advocate for Saniyya's family, provided Amsterdam News with extensive material refuting the DA's findings and said the family is not in denial, but was denied evidence. Sherry stated, "What the family is going through is described in 3 words: shock, disbelief, and betrayal." Shocked, they had to learn about the allegations of Saniyya taking her own life by way of social media and media representatives contacting them for a statement. Disbelief that they would not have had the opportunity to be invited to participate in and confer with the prosecutor prior to him making a statement about alleged findings. And betrayed by a justice system and the university system, who was supposed to provide their child with protection and to ensure for the family that this search would be done with due diligence. Sherry also stated that no video exists of Saniyya in Niagara Falls. Days before the press conference, police showed the family a camera shot of a black dot at the falls, claiming it was Saniyya, but could have been debris or a water droplet. The family says they never saw video of Saniyya leaving campus or video of her in the dorm building elevator, only a still photo. Family members said if she traveled off campus, it would be to meet someone, and she never traveled alone to meet friends or groups. Text messages the family has shows that Saniyya told 3 people she was coming back home. The text messages the DA is using to conclude Saniyya took her own life occurred earlier in the day, 14 hours before he says Saniyya allegedly took her own life. The family also says they have no evidence of any self-deletion conversation and no evidence that she jumped from a bridge. They said there are no witnesses or surveillance footage to support that Saniyya was by or on the bridge or Niagara Falls. Sherry said the DA initially claimed the person on the text messages said Saniyya would jump off of a bridge, then later told them she would not do so. There is also no evidence regarding threats to commit self-deletion other than what a man claimed she told him and waited almost 2 weeks to share the alleged story with police. The man never told the family throughout their search about the alleged self-deletion threat. There are major questions about Saniyya's bus ride to Niagara Falls. The DA says Saniyya was the only passenger on the 2 buses she took there. Police received a tip about a bus employee and are raising concerns about his possible interaction with Saniyya. The family also says they didn't receive any information about what buses she was on. If in fact she went to Niagara Falls, one of those cameras would have picked her up, Sherry said. Are they suggesting that in an area that has 12 million tourists annually, not one person saw her there? Not one person can attest that they saw her there. How is it with all of these entities there, nobody had one piece of evidence to produce to this family to show this is where she is? Businesses on Old Falls Street near the Falls and area hotels denied the family access to surveillance video. They were also denied permission to look for her. Cameras on the New York State Thruway and the Canadian-U.S. border have no videos of Saniyya in the area. Sherry stated, "We made a request for 5 companies on Old Falls by telephone, email, and social media. We went to ask for assistance for surveillance videos and no one contacted us to say they had a video. Nothing. I gave a list of the 10 small hotels because I thought if she's abducted, then she might be at some of the smaller hotels. That's where they bring a lot of the girls for sex trafficking. Western New York is a prime location for trafficking due to its proximity to the Canadian border. Several massage parlors in the area have been shut down by law enforcement for sex slavery." The family is also questioning the possible involvement of a man who posted a Snapchat screenshot of Saniyya's last photo on April 25th. The screenshot was shot on the afternoon of May 25th at 3:34 p.m. The screenshot presented by the district attorney was initially deemed fake by the police, according to Sherry. It did not have a date, time, or location. In reference to the ping, Sherry said there is no evidence a cell tower collected Saniyya's phone activities and that police changed their ping time throughout the investigation. As far as allegations that she was texting her boyfriend, Saniyya's family says she was not in an exclusive or serious relationship. She was seeing someone she met in late 2020 who attends Pace University, which is 6 hours from Buffalo State College. The family said the two were not serious enough for Saniyya to commit self-deletion and that it would be out of her character. They added they never received proof of the calls the DA says she made. Sherry made a statement saying, "When you look at everything in totality, this is why the family has reason to believe that the office of the district attorney lied, misrepresented material, and was not honest and forthright. The fact he did not confer with them before this press conference and didn't invite them to attend suggests he did not want them to give a rebuttal." A spokesperson for the Erie County District Attorney's office told Amsterdam News that members of their office met with Saniyya's family the day before the conference to provide information on the investigation into her disappearance. Due to national news coverage and public interest about the case, they informed Saniyya's family that their office would provide an update to the media. A statement from Saniyya's family says, "Saniyya is alive until evidence proves otherwise. The family will continue to search for her and offer the reward. She is truly loved, and the family wants the person or persons involved to return her home."